Methuen City Council Economic Development Committee, January 30th, 2026 at 3 p.m. here at the Great Hall. First off, we'll call roll. Councilor McLaren,
Present.
Councilor Santos,
Present.
and myself, all present. Next, I'll take a motion to accept the agenda.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
The next order, we need to vote a chair. So I'm sitting here now only because I'm the oldest member and I was on the top of the list. I'll accept the chairmanship if you guys, if you want it, I'm happy to relinquish it.
No. We nominate you. Yeah.
All right. And I accept, so thank you. Next order of business, like every meeting we have, has public participation, and having no one in the audience, so we know there is no public participation here today, so we'll move on. The next is just an overview of the purpose of our purpose here, right? The reason we have an economic development committee. So it's to help our businesses in the community, as we did with TIFs the other day with the new business up on 28 on the north side of Lawrence, on the north side of 28. We can help with permitting, how we can assist them and help them to get through the process better. And I know later we have another agenda item here where it talks about the new coordinator we're going to hire. So that coordinator is going to be hired. Hopefully we hire him Monday night. We've budgeted already, so it should be an easy hire. So that person, I believe, that coordinator is going to help us be a liaison between businesses and the city to get through permitting and tell them what they need and to help them to get through that process. We don't make it very easy, and it's not just Methuen. It's a lengthy process when you go through to get a business building permit and or a building license, to an operator's license. So hopefully that person, and I'd like to have him at most of our meetings here so that we can keep a direction, and hopefully Jack Wilson and the mayor will concede to that, to say that that's one of the main goals of that coordinator, is to help be that liaison between the business community and City Hall. So that's going to be a great tool, I think, for us. So another thing that I'd like to see that of this committee is to, if we can identify some vacant properties maybe and help our economic director, Jack Wilson, to say, how do we have people looking for, here's a 3,000 square foot building over here on Route 28. Is there anybody looking for that? How can we help them? What can the city do to help them to say that here's a good facility for you? Again, like the guys up on 28 where they took a building that hasn't been used for years, where the old Crest was, and now they've made it a manufacturing facility. So we need more of that. And if it means, to me, if it means doing more TIFs, tax incentive financing, that's what the TIF stands for. I believe that's a crucial tool for businesses to come here if they're going to relocate here. If we're trying to get them from another community and it's an existing business, what incentives are we giving them to come here? So we give them a TIF. And a 5-year TIF is a good thing because it's dispersing that gain over 5 years, right? So they're not paying on the gain of their building and business for the first 5 years. So if the building right now is paying, $10,000 in real estate tax, that never goes down. It incrementally gets higher for the next 5 years till it gets to the full value of the property. It's that value with the workings and everything. So that's what the TIF does for them. So it's an easier transition for them, and it's an incentive for them to come here. They also get, with that TIF, they also get state help that I know of with their payroll, as well as, what we give them as a real estate tax benefit. So that's huge for them too. That's helping them with their payroll tax. Only because I know two people that are using it that have TIFs. So it's working out well for them, and it's worth it.
So hopefully the next meeting we're going to be able to hire an economic development.
So on Monday night's agenda, yes. Right, we tabled it last meeting because we ran out of time. So that's up on Monday night's agenda to hire the new coordinator. That's
yes,
the term,
I
right?
remember.
The person's job title is going to be that coordinator. But there's no one. So we're going to say that yes, we want to hire someone, but now it's still got to go out and seek a person. right? We have a pay range for it, but just to seek that person, so that's going to be at least 60 days before that person's on board. By the time we, advertise the job, they do interviews, so that's a little ways away. But
Got it.
at least we're moving in the right direction, right? So we're having, hopefully Jack will be here. Jack Wilson will be our Community Development Economic Director at our next meeting, whenever we schedule that. I know we just threw this together on a Friday, and that's why we don't have any public participation and no input from the city right now, but just to get through our housekeeping stuff and to get us to see what our goals are of this committee. Hopefully he'll be here at the next meeting so we can have questions for him. How many people are looking to relocate here? Do you have a list? I'm sure he has a list of people that are trying to come here. Do we have to identify spots? And do we have a list of spots that are vacant properties that we can help identify for you? Or does he have that list already?
That's what I was going to ask is, do we know if there is a comprehensive list of all of the vacant commercial properties that we have in Methuen presently?
So I would say it's not a comprehensive list because it's more of a floating list. It's always ongoing because as people come and go, I'm sure Jack keeps a list of the bigger properties, of things of like 5,000 and bigger square foot size, because those are easier to control. When you have these mom and pops, in air quotes, of little businesses, small businesses that we have that are only 1,000 or 1,500 square feet, some come and go, right? There's a lot of them that are here that are mainstays in our community, but they do tend to move along and switch, so it's hard to keep track of that. We could identify some so that if he knew of people looking for smaller spaces, then we could help him with that, to relay that to him as well. I know we have another thing we talk about as new businesses come into the city. There's a hotel being proposed on Pleasant Valley Street. I've met with the people there. They've come with the city only because it's in the East District, so I've met with them once with the city as a whole, our different departments, and I believe it's a good use, a good passive use for that land, twofold, because it doesn't increase traffic per se, so it doesn't have an influx at 7 a.m. or 5 p.m. It doesn't have a huge burden of traffic. It's just sporadic all throughout the day of when traffic is. There's going to be something built on that site, and if it was some sort of a retail spot, that would create a lot of traffic that, at 9 in the morning when it opens up until, 10 o'clock at night, that would be a lot of traffic, and you put another fast food restaurant or something, that's a lot of traffic. So I think it's a little passive use of that land. I think it's a good use for the city because we're collecting tax dollars for the land, for the building, we'll get the housing tax, right? So it's a great incentive for us to say yes because it's a good use and we're collecting all the tax dollars that we can from that site too. So I know there wasn't anyone that spoke in opposition to it at the public hearing they had at Community Development. So I hope that's a site that's been underutilized for a long time, and it's good to see a substantial business going there. So that's about what I have. I don't know if you guys have any. It's just
I feel that having that open position for the coordinator is going to help us more because a new block coming into our city hall, and if we start identifying new properties where we can be able to say, well, and not only properties, but also business owners that also wants to come into Methuen and do business here. And also working with the Methuen Alliance with Katie Cook. I think that is going to create a big impact in what we really want to do. But obviously we know that it's a long way to go, but we definitely need to put something together so that we have it available for our community. And just because I know a couple of business owners that wants to bring their business to Methuen, but one of the the thing that they face is that how difficult it is to get all the permits out, how difficult it is just to go through the path of getting all the licenses out and all that. So I feel that once we hire a new coordinator, and obviously with the assistance of Mr. Wilson, we'll be able to make steps toward towards a better Methuen, more friendly towards business owners.
And that's the goal. We know the word on the street is that we're not business friendly. We say we are, but we're really not. So
No.
we need to change that attitude of people so that
Yes.
we truly are. And having this coordinator, it's not like it's going to be the be all end all person, but if it helps take some of the stress off of Mr. Wilson to, then he can be soliciting bigger businesses and work on better things for the city, bigger opportunities.
And I feel not only for businesses, but also for residential, because I seen a lot of abandoned residentials, especially in the central district. I have identified a couple of them that, we need to find out where the owners are standing on those properties and see, if they can be rehabbed for housing or things like that. But definitely, I think this is a good start as our first meeting. What do you think, Ella?
I think so too. The only thing I wanted to clarify, and we may or may not know the answer to this quite yet, but in terms of the Economic Development Committee, or coordinator rather, are we looking to that person potentially to be who develops that standing list of all of the required documentation, permits, et cetera, for incoming businesses? Because I know you mentioned how that process is a little fuzzy right now, which is definitely a deterrent. It prolongs the process of establishing your business here. Would that be something that person takes on, or should that be a responsibility allocated elsewhere?
So I think that my opinion is going to be that I think he can help or she can help in that role, but I think I'll help. I'll be the person to help. I'm more than happy to help with the building commissioner to come up with that comprehensive list with the coordinator, with the commissioner to say, here's the list of what we need. We're almost there. We have a list, but it's just not a comprehensive list, so that when an applicant, a business owner comes in and they want to establish, purchase a property and do a build out or do a building, it's just difficult for them. So I don't think that person is going to make the list. That seems like, I don't know if that's going to be in his or her scope of expertise right now, but I know I've spoken to the building commissioner about it and Jack about it, so I'm willing to step up and help them directly and come up with that list so that we can make it easy.
Great. I mean, I think that sounds like a good start to me, for sure.
It is. So I know we're talking a lot about that person, so hopefully it helps. We need that tool. We need someone to help us. And to take some of the burden away from Jack, because he can't just be out soliciting businesses every day. He has a lot of hats that he wears right now. So I think it'll help him too and help the whole department as well.
But we definitely need to come with a plan so that we can become a business-friendly community, because we definitely need more small businesses. And like you mentioned earlier, we don't need more salons and we don't need more smoke places. We need more cafes, more restaurants, more
dentists, more lawyers, more just people
more
who want to
everything.
relocate their business here. And we need to give them incentives to be here. Why pick Methuen? Here's why. And we have a list of
Exactly.
why. And even if they had to come here and speak with us and have a meeting and say, here's what we're going to help you do, and we'll be the people. Come right here and, to air your concerns. And people will, at public participation here, people will be able to air their concerns here, and we can step in and help them too.
Sure.
With the process of any process through the city with economic development. We put that under our umbrella. So, right, I think. All right, so
Great.
hopefully the next meeting will create some good agenda items so that we can have some action items to work on, right? That's the goal to work towards. I don't know how often you guys would like to meet. I'm open to, I'm pretty flexible. I can be anytime. At first, if we can meet like every couple of weeks even, especially when it's cold outside. The summertime, it's a little harder for people, but I don't know what people's schedules are, what your schedule is.
I think every couple of weeks is probably a good place to start, and then the frequency can sort of be determined on the kinds of projects that we're working on and how long we need to actually have information worth bringing to a meeting.
Right, because if we don't have new information coming to us, what's the sense of having a meeting? Now we have to just look for things to do, but that's not a bad thing either, because if we want to identify vacant properties, we come up with that list and talk about that and how we can help fill them and do things like that. So there are many properties. I can think of one right at the corner of Howe and Pleasant Street, right? There's the old gas station that's been there. It's been 20 years since that's been vacant, and now the drugstore behind it is empty, right? They've moved out, right? Aid is gone.
Where is this?
Right up the street here at Pleasant and Howe.
Oh, yes. Yes.
So the
that's
gas
my drive
station
home.
is a difficult spot because there's only one access in, right? In and out, and you can only get southbound traffic on Howe Street to access that property, so it's very difficult. But I know over the years, there's been people looking at it to try to come up with some solution to work there.
Yes.
That's a good site that,
That's a great spot there.
and it's
For-
right in the center here, so it'd be nice to see something go there.
Yes, I
But
cannot
it's-
wait to see something
That
going
would
on
be
here.
difficult to get. I know the people who own the Rite Aid building, they live in another state on the other side of the country, really, so it's difficult for them to, I know they don't want to relinquish their rights, but that's the good access at the light there, to get in there would be a great spot. Just abandoned properties and all, in general, so if we could try to help fill them, right? That's all. That's our goal here, to get the tax dollars in from businesses to help alleviate the residential tax rate.
Yes,
So
yes.
get our percentage up. All right, so I don't know if you want to set a meeting date, or we can pick a day if you guys have the calendars out, or I don't,
That's
right? February 1st is here. We need to make them more friendlier for people at City Hall. Friday's not a good day. It worked out here for us today, and I tried to just get this to have our first informational meeting. But we need to have meetings more like, even if it's, a Tuesday or a Wednesday, whenever the hall's available, or whatever day, but right after hours or during hours of when people are here at City Hall, so that they can, if we want input from the city employees, they're not spending time after work. That's
Okay.
all I would say we should try to accommodate. We don't have to do it all the time, but because the other hand of that is that limits people who want to come to public participation, because now if people are working, it's hard for them to come. So maybe we could stagger our meetings to have some later in the, later at night, or like at 7 o'clock or something, so people could make it.
Sure. So a good day for next month. You said,
Because we have a meeting on the 2nd and the 16th already,
oh, yeah.
right? So that is the week of the,
Can we do the
9th is
following week?
open.
We can do the 25th or the 24th.
I want to go earlier.
Oh, you want to go earlier?
I want to, right, like somewhere no later than the 20th, because that's 3 full weeks away. So if we could go somewhere in the week of the 9th,
The 12th.
I am available on in the evening on the 9th, and then I'm away for a couple days after that. The 9th, perhaps.
So the 9th?
want to do the 9th?
Yeah, that's fine.
So like a little later, like at 6 o'clock or something, is that okay?
Yeah. That might
And
make
again-
it easier for people who are interested in
If someone wants to
participating.
come up to public participation, but it's not too late that someone from the city, can't be here too.
Sure.
So I got to check and make sure the hall's available, and then get MCTV on board. And then if you guys want to come up with a couple of agenda items if you want, don't feel free to email me. I'll speak to Jack, our economic development director. I know we call him by his first name, but Mr. Wilson. I'm sure he'll be able to attend that meeting. He can't do Fridays, and I knew that, but.
Yes. He told me he babysits today.
So we'll shoot for February 9th at 6 p.m., right?
Yes.
And I'll let you know.
Perfect.
All right? Take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. 3:20.